Welcome to Deep Thought. The truth will always be. And that's the title of a song, of a piece by a jazz musician, Pat Metheny, one of my favorite ones. I first heard that song back in 1992, right? I always remember it because I just had, I don't know what to call it. I'll say a disagreement with a young lady I was dealing with way back in 92, right? And I was driving. She was in an internship and staying on a college campus and stuff. And I remember I was driving back home, and this is one of the few women in life that, it could get under my skin. And she wasn't mean or anything, but I'll just say things were complicated, right? And I remember driving home and I heard this jazz piece. And at the time, there was a jazz station. The station in DC used to be called OK 100, but it shifted over to a jazz format. I remember driving home. I'm listening to it. I'm like, wow, listen to this. This piece is great. This was the first time I called into a radio station just to find out what was playing, right? And it's something I still listen to this day. It is something I still listen to this day. And the song was called "The Truth Will Always Be." And I like how it built up. It was basically about a relationship, a man's relationship with a woman, right? And I like how it was a piece that it built it up slowly, right, until it reached a crescendo, kind of like a woman's orgasm, right? And then, calm down again, right? But one of the things I got from it was kind of a philosophy just to look at life, and that the truth will always be. Like, the truth of something is always there, but it gets buried under a mound of lies, deception, whatever. People not looking at it, but the truth is always there. The truth will always there. That's one thing that's immutable, right? Like, what really happened in any situation is always there, because as a saying that I heard, I can't, and this is one of those sayings you don't know where it originally came from, but that the truth is a three-edged sword, right? It's my side, your side, and the actual truth. The truth is always there. And one of the things, there was a group of brothers I used to roll with on this website back in the early 2000s. Right, it was called blackvoices.com, and I used to roll with a crew of dudes called the Scribes, right? And if anybody happen to remember that, I try to help y'all to, if y'all can guess which one I was, if you happen to be there, it was like boom. But it was a powerful thing. I mean, it used to be like a lot of philosophical, religious discussions in this one section on Black Voices, right? And it was deep in many ways. It was deep knowledge. Like I said, I mean, this is one of those places like religious discussions weren't off the table. So it was real deep, right? But one of the things that one of the brothers used to always promote, he always used to say, there's no religion higher than truth. Because it is the truth. Whether you want to apply that to philosophy, truth, or situation, the truth is always there. Now, what we have to do is we have to go through the lies. Like in relationships, there's always a truth to what happened. Like how you got together, how you broke apart, how y'all really relating to each other. Now, sometimes you might be able to consciously get to that truth and be honest about it and say, look, this was what it really was, right? But sometimes it might be subconscious. Now, if you can try to figure out all the factors that really brought you together or put you in that situation, that is a powerful thing, right? Now, one of the ways that people can find that truth is just to be honest with nobody else but yourself. Like, I understand, I always talk about taking off a mask and everything, but that's tough in this world. That's tough, even dangerous in this world, right? I mean, let's just be real. Sometimes if people are their true selves, any place they can be taken advantage of. Like, you might be that happy-go-lucky person, but you might be living in a neighborhood where you have to walk not smiling or something. Or a lot of women who might be naturally friendly and naturally receptive, but they might have to be a little bit tougher when they walking down the street. You know, but the truth of the matter is, hey, they probably would talk to that person, but then they got to worry about their safety. Right? When you're on jobs, you can't really just, the truth of the matter is, your bosses, your boss don't know what the fuck they doing, and probably if they're female, got to that position, on their knees. Nowadays, it could have been a male who got to that position on his knees. Right? But the truth of what happened is always there. We don't see it. And we might never see it with other people, but we can be true to ourselves. We can be honest. And that's a tough thing. I'm going to tell you what. Because the biggest thing with people in life is all of us lie to ourselves. All of us. I ain't saying Rom either. Like I said, don't look on here and don't look at Rom like he's some guru. He got it figured out. I'm a work in progress. As I joke with Miss Mocha Angel on, as I joked with her when I did my last Insecure review with her, not just a work in progress, right? Not just a work in progress, but a piece of work according to some people. And you know what? That might be the case. That might be the case. One of the things of honesty is how we really treating people. And I know a thing I got to work. I know, and I'll tell you straight up, I got to work with it, being emotionally open to people. And I know exactly why I can be closed off to people, because I'm one of those kids, I didn't really have a childhood. My childhood stopped when I was 6. So I always had to look at stuff like an adult and think like an adult from the age of 6. And part of that was shutting off some emotions. I couldn't react. I couldn't be like crying. Usually it's like, oh, wait, I got to solve this shit. Yeah, I was like one of those little smart 8-year-olds and shit, man. I had to be scheming on some shit. It's like, oh, shit, okay, this is what we can do to get some money or something. Right? But as a result, it created somebody who can stay a little too calm. And people be like, damn, how you stay calm? And all of that. But I got to be honest about that. That could be good in some instances, but there's probably scores of women out there who say it was a bad thing. Like they couldn't read me, or they felt like, yeah, it's a lot of stuff. But I have to be honest about it. I have to be honest that exists. And then I have to be honest that it's something to work on. And that's actually is something I'm working on, just being a little bit less intense. But that's the truth. But the thing is, and I'm sharing that, just knowing everybody has some demon that they have to get to, and they have to get to the truth of how they are, why they are. And then once they get to the truth of it, and then they can grow. That's when you can heal, right? But the truth is always there. The truth will always be. But we have, and sometimes with that, we have to be the type who is not afraid of just being honest with yourself. If you look, I can understand that, being honest with other people. I get it. I get it. I respect that. Right? Seriously, I actually respect that, because it's tough. It's tough because you still got people who, because they ain't in their own honesty, going to look to take advantage of it. I get it. But you got to be able to look at yourself and say, look, this is why. This is why I picked that type of person. Like in relationships. That's relationships, one of the main area people need to be honest in. Because you get a lot of women who choose unavailable men. And they'll blame the men, but what they really need to say is, look, I don't really want to be in a relationship. Or something I've dealt with. I'll share something with me. Because I used to be on that player thing. I'm just being real. I used to be on that player thing, and I started noticing something. I'm choosing women who can't, who ain't going to press me for a committed relationship. That's what I was doing. But I had to change. There was some stuff I had to change that up. You know, I had to change that up because then, you know, I was looking for, if the woman was like, oh yeah, she ready to go, boom. But if the woman had some other dude she was dealing with, or something where she couldn't really get with me, or, you know, be public with me, and I was like, oh yeah, let's go for it. And, you know, I'm thinking about what's wrong, and I'm like, well, wait a minute, I gotta be honest with myself. I like my independence. It's when I changed that I was able to get married, right? And that's the key, because I had to be honest with myself. You know, I had to face the truth. And the truth, like I say, the truth is immutable. It's always there. The truth of why something happened, or how you are, or whatever, is always there. You know? So our mission, all of us, Rom included, our mission is to find that truth, embrace it, and deal with it. And for some, it's going to be hurtful. For some, it's going to mean you're going to do some work. But the key thing is they're taking responsibility for it. So that's all I got today. You know, y'all keep rising and transforming. Peace.